ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
கவிதாகிகேசரி வேதாந்தாச்சார்யவர்யோ மே சந்நிதத்தாம் சதா ஹிருதி. ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்ய பூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதாயம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம். நம்ம ரெண்டு மேலே கொடுமா. சீருந்தோ திருவேங்கடமுடைய பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழி ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியும் வாழ்வார்க்குவானே கோமளவும்.
So we have to take Narayana Muni's words. Bhagavad Charanarambhoja Paricharya Vidhikramam Ekantibhir Anushteyam Nityam Sam Abhidadmahe. Sam Abhidadmahe we are now telling you elaborately. Some meaning elaborately. The sense very well. Abhidadmahe meaning we are saying. Royal we, so only one. So whenever we refer to great people, we use plural, Bahuvachanam. Therefore, we said already, Swami Deshika said, Narayana Munibhirapi. Though a single person, Munibhirapi, Bahuvachanam. So again, Samadad Bahuvachanam. So what is to be done? Nityam, daily. Anushtayam, to be followed. Ekantibihi. That means, Ekantibihi means people are orthodox people. So, Ekanta generally meaning lonely. Loneliness is called Ekanta. Only one is available. Exclusive, yes, right. So what is to be done? Vidhikramam according to the procedure, right procedure, Paricharya service in the lotus feet of Lord, Bhagavad Charanambhoj. Nitya kartavyam prakramya uktam. So, vyartham vikshya. So, nitya kartavyam prakramya uktam meaning starting with daily duty, explanation of daily duty. So, it is said. So, let us regret about the past time, the time which is gone uselessly. Nirvidya, having felt the sadness. Aham, I, itaf param, in future. Aradhyayam, I will do puja, worship in future. Jayayam, I will also meditate upon the Lord. Bhajayam, I will sing the names of the Lord. Purushottam, so the primordial being, namely the highest God, namely Sriman Narayana. Then Kirtayayam, I will sing. Namasyayam, I will bow, I will salute. Chintayayam, I will think of him, brood over him. Anaratam, without any attachment to worldly things. Anaratam. Vrajayam Sharanam Cha, I will totally surrender to him. Nishchitya, after deciding, Manasa Swayam. So I will make a firm decision in my mind to surrender to him. So these are the actions to be performed. Elaborately said, repeatedly said also. Atra, here, Gamayishyami Vasaram. I will spend the days in future. Iti anena prakritasya paramekantinaha. So a very orthodox person is called paramekantinaha, as Keshavadas Swami put it, exclusively devoted to the Lord. Panchakalika, now the title of the paragraph is Panchakalika Dharmanam Swayam Prayojanatvam. What is the advantage of you following the five-timed ritual? Okay? Prakarantarena. So by another method, Kalayapanam Ashakyam. It is impossible to spend the time. Meaning, this is the right way. That is spending the time usefully by worshipping the Lord through the five-timed procedure. So Achidra Kainkaryasya. So if there should be no lacuna in the service, then Swayam Prajonatum Vijyate. Then we can understand the advantage. Tadeva hi Kantoktam. The very advantage of doing service is faultless service. That's all. So Kantoktam Narayana Munibihi. Kantoktam meaning he vociferously said. He shouted and said, Kantoktam. We also say Kanta Muktam. He spoiled his throat to say it loudly. Kim kim na sadhyam bhagavad aradhana parainaraihi Vaishnavanam visheshena swayametat prayojan. So he simply says, nothing is impossible. That's all. Nothing is impossible. No advantage is impossible. No benefit is unavailable. Double negative. So, kim kim na sadhyam bhagavad aradhana paraihi naraihi. People who are engaged in the worship of the Lord will get all the advantages that they deserve, especially Vaishnavas, and this is the advantage. Swayam etat prayojan. This is only what you call self advantage. It is not selfish advantage, self advantage. There's a difference between selfish advantage. We are not asking for anything. And he grants, he blesses us. Lord is sympathetic. Yadatra dharmartha chintana. So what is again this advantage? Our thought will be unpolluted. Our thought will be pure. Our thought will be doing in the way of duty. Duty consciousness will be there. Then we will have a sense of charity. We will have the right administration. We will have righteousness. We will have justice in the country. Then so on around us. Then tadupaya bhuta kaya klesha chintanam just smaryate. What we infer is, what we guess is, for this we have to make our body suffer. Physical suffering will be there. Kaya klesha chintanam. That is natural, because while we do worship to the Lord, we have to do a lot of physical work. So physical work is needed, necessary, mandatory, compulsory for service. And therefore, we have to toil and moil with it. We have to suffer a lot by physical work. So tatra kainkari rupaha dharma. What is our duty is service-mindedness. Then tachcheva bhutaha artha. Again, we must also understand that we are only slaves. So we cannot have anything as we like. Another point is we say slaves are not masters. So tayoho guru laghupaya vivekartham. Then we will try to find out where our physical work is minimum. So sometimes we have to do heavy service, that is heavy physical work. Sometimes we can do a little physical work. We can show our responsibility to some other people, which is very difficult by physical work, and therefore, so in order to discriminate between the heavy service and light service, kaya klesha chintanam, then we will think about light work. It is not a question of cheating the Lord, but it's a question of reducing our physical work. So you say that I will take care of mantra portion. You take the bodily working portion. So tatra na purvaham madhyam dina parana parakvana phalan kuryat yatha shakti dharmartha kamebhya. So among the three purusharthas, dharma, artha and kama, so we cannot go on doing the service in the morning, afternoon and evening. So 24 hours we cannot be a servant in the temple. And therefore, so, yatha shakti, according to one's own capacity. You know, today you have work by shift. So we say 8 hours for industries. So here you cannot have such a very fixed time. So 8 hours. So it may be more than 8 hours. Today also many companies expect us to work for 16 hours. So as far as possible, we have to get the salary if you are after salary, after money, then you can have a part-time job. So part-time job is allowed. Then teshu cha dharmottaraha syat. There also duty consciousness is most important. Dharmottaraha syat. Ityadibhi. Gautamadi ukta. Gautama Maharshi has already said this between the inverted commas. Na purvana up to syat. These are all words from Gautama Samhita, you can say. So ukta, then kama aupayika pravrityam shopi. We will have some desires to fulfill. What desires? That is, we need money, say for example. And therefore we engage ourselves in part-time job. So we want to bring up our family. So we need money to maintain our family. And therefore kama upayika. So we need some desires to fulfill. We have desires to fulfill. So pravrityam shopi. So even in the matter of our interest in fulfilling our earthly desires, then dharma aviruddhaha bhuteshu kamaha asmi bharatarshava. This is, I think, must be from Mahabharata. So Bharatarshava is an address to Yudhishthira, so on. Sometimes Arjuna also. So he says, I have a desire, but desire is not out of righteousness. Meaning, as per righteousness, I have a desire. Then that is, I have got a right desire. So ityukta sat santana utpadanadi matra arthasastriya kama vishayataya. Now, having a family, one should produce a good child, good progeny. There's some continuity in the generation. That's all. Ityukta sat santana utpadanadi. So that means one must get married, one must beget children, good children, and we must be economically in welfare. That is what we call in good state. We must have economic security. Then grihastasya. So a householder will have all these responsibilities, begetting children and maintaining them. So kainkarya pakshe nikshiptate. And everywhere, the service is the motto. And in the service, dharma is the motto. That is, righteousness is the motto. So let us go to the next page. Tritiya, so in the third chapter, 93 page. Tadayam apavarga ankura bhuta swayam prayojana swami kainkarya mahananda labha. Already we saw this, namely, we must make the Lord happy. He must be very happy. Mahananda labha. A profit, benefit accrues to him. That is, he must be made happy. Of course, our aim is not to make ourselves happy. So by doing service, Kainkarya Mahananda Labha, then that is our purpose, Swayam Prayojana. Whose Kainkarya? Swami, Master's service. Then what is the base? We aim at Apavarga. Apavarga means moksha. Tat I am, therefore, I am this, the Mahananda Lava. So we were talking about what is the advantage in doing the service, worship, Kainkaryam, and so on. So this is the Labha, that is aiming at moksha, emancipation, that is freedom from birth and death. Ankura Bhuta, Ankura meaning seed, the basis, fundamental requirement. And then the highest happiness, rather bliss, is the aim for the Lord. So the title, paragraph title is Nirvighna Kaikarya Siddhi Prarthana. So the priest of the temple should request prarthanam, should pray, should beg also, should beseech, beseech. So request him humbly that his service must be successful. Kainkarya Siddhi. Nirvighna, without troubles. So, Vignayutena Govinde Nrinam Bhaktir Nivaryate iti Katham Bhavishyati iti Bhayat Anantaram Pratibandhaka Nivrittihi Prarthyate. We must have fear whether the service will be good service, flawless service, blemishless service. We must try to ensure faultless service. For that, we must have some apprehension, fear. That is, whether we will become able to complete the service rightly. Because we must believe Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda gives us the knowledge to do service. So, Vighna Ayuten, you can take a very beautiful meaning for this word. Vighna Ayutena meaning. Vighna meaning difficulty, obstacle. So Lord is without obstacle. Ayutena means disassociated. Disassociated with difficulty meaning Lord never gives you trouble. But who gives us trouble? That we must think of it. later on, after in the next verses, poem, next poetic words we must find out. So again, another meaning, very beautiful meaning is, Vedanteshika is very humorous here. So Vigna Ayutena Govinda. Ayutam meaning 10,000. So Govinda is with 10,000 troubles. Suppose you take this, so it's a negative meaning. So you should not take this negative meaning. So Laksham is lakh. Ayutam is 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs meaning infinite number of troubles. So the Lord gives us infinite number of troubles. For whom? Nrinam, for the men, for the human beings. So bhakti hi nivaryate. Therefore, he stops our devotion. Because of the troubles that he gives, he impedes our devotion. He interrupts our devotion. That's one meaning. Another meaning is, positive meaning is, because he is not troublesome. Lord is not troublesome. Vigna ayutena. Bhakti hi nivaryate. The devotion is enhanced. The devotion is increased. So no impediment to the devotion. So katham bhavishyati. So how will it happen? Iti bhayat, out of fear. Anantaram, later. Pratibandhaka nivrittihi, how to solve the problems. Prarthate is requested. So we pray to the Lord to avoid problems. What is that? Etat kriya virodhini prachinani ashubhani me karmani anantani achedhyani anadini asuchini api. Naturally, as we understand, our prarabdha karma, sanchita karma will have to be avoided. So we'll have to be dispelled. All the sins must be washed off, washed away. So etat kriya virodhini, that is detrimental to our service. Prachinani, old actions, that is our past actions, previous birth actions. Ashubhani, inauspicious. My karmani, actions. Anantani, endless. So many inauspicious actions have been performed earlier. So anantani, endless. So no countable, uncountable actions. Achedhyani, they cannot be destroyed. Anadini, they are also beginningless. Then asuchini, very impure actions. So all this must be removed. So now what should we pray? Swayeva kripaya devaha, Lord, by his own sympathy, not by my own request, but by his own compassion, vina asyan vinashyas vinashyaha man manoratha. So vinashyaha, all this to be destroyed. Man manorathan, namely my desires also, my wrong desires also. Purayatu. So now we can take the word man manorathan as good desires also. So man manorathan purayatu, fulfill our desires, good desires. Samprarthya, requesting him deeply. Mantram etat udiriya. You must say this mantra. What is that mantra? Sahacha prarthana mantraha. So that is the mantra here. Tvayi aradhana kamoha ayam. So while we start worshipping, that is doing Thiruvaradhanam at the sanctum sanctorum of the temple or even at home, so you must say that I am desirous of worshipping you. Tvayi. So to you can say to you. Of course, it is in Saptami Vibhakti. So Aradhana Kamoyam, I am desirous of doing Aradhanam. Aradhanam is again service, pleasing the Lord. So Ityadikaha, etc. There are so many words as are following. Yatha Nyayam, according to the rule, Deshika Sakashat, you must get guidance from the preceptors. Adhitya, understanding, learning from the preceptors. Atra, here, Anvaham, daily. Prayoktavyaha must be employed. This mantra must be employed. So we have to use the knowledge received from the preceptors and then do that. Evamemehi sarvesham mantranam samadhi. So our meditation should be on all the mantras or all the mantras taught by the preceptors. Viparvyayehi naishkalyam. If we follow opposite method, then naishpalyam it will be unfruitful. Then drishta pratyavayascha. So we will have unseen troubles and seen troubles also. We will meet with the troubles and we will also will not recognize the troubles, but the troubles will be there. So drishta, adrishta, seen and unseen. Pratyavayaha troubles. Teshu shastreshu patyate. So we will understand from books. In many books we can find out what are the unseen troubles and seen troubles. That is explicit troubles and implicit troubles. Hidden troubles and open troubles. Then yadrishaya shrutaha mantraha channena atha chalena va patrekshito va vyarthaha syat pratyuta anarthado bhavet. Tengalai Sampradaya people insist on Bhaktas, devotees, saying the Nalayana Divya Prabandham, 4,000 devotional lyrics of Alvars, 12 apostles, without referring to a book. They must not refer to a book. Patra Ishitaha. When you look at the book and read, it is useless, they say. So you have to memorize them. You have to memorize in the temple when you do it as a group. We cannot refer to a book. Those who possess a book will be driven out, will be excluded. So yadricha, now this is one way of encouragement, encouraging people to memorize. We come to the temple only at the old age, and then we might not have memorized all the songs, that devotional songs that all others know. So here, you must not, you must learn from a preceptor anything, but you must not hear from, say, for example, electronic gadgets, tape recorder, YouTube, and so on. So, yadrichaya sutaha. You have heard something, heard the mantras, but you don't know the spelling of the mantras, you don't know the accent of the mantras, you don't know the errors that the casually heard. Yadrichaya sutaha, casually heard. Mantraha. Then channena, there are some false mantras. There are some hidden mantras. The mantras will not be rightly said by people. I find in a lot of occasions wrong mantras. So mantraha channena and chalena. Some people cheat. Chalam is cheating. So if you get a book or if you get an audio which is wrong, then you should not follow. You must learn from the preceptor. So if you look at the book, Patrakshitaha, if you look at a paper and read, then it will be useless. Not only it will be useless, but it will also bring some bad effects. Pratyuta anarthadaha bhavet, it will land us in danger. Iti asyeva lokasya shlokasya anyatra tam japet yadi anarthakrit iti chaturtha padasya pathaha. In the fourth quarter of this lesson, you will find that we must meditate upon japet, tam japet, that mantra, spell, anarthakrit. Japet yadi anarthakrit. Without fault, without any danger, risk involved. That means we must know perfectly, we must learn perfectly from the preceptor. Even if the preceptor goes wrong, you must try to find out what is the mistake. Then, Nirvighna Kaikarya Siddhaye Guru Parampara Prapatti Purvaka Haridhyam. Then if you don't get the preceptor, right preceptor, then you must pray for a good preceptor through the Lord. That's all. That's what the next paragraph says. Haridhyanam. So you must meditate on the Lord. That is what you call pray to the Lord by getting an opportunity through Him to do surrender, to make total surrender on the clan of preceptors. You can also follow a person like Ekalaivan of Dronacharya for some time. Initially, you can choose a preceptor. So Vedanta Deshika chose the preceptors Nathamuni, Yamunacharya and Ramanujacharya, whom he has not seen. But all these teachings, all the teachings of these three preceptors came to him through someone else, his uncle, Appulla. And therefore, he must know the correct concepts coming from the former preceptors whom a student has not seen. Why? What for? For the success of free, trouble-free service. Nirvighna Kaikarya Siddhaye, for the sake of trouble-free service, one must pray to the Lord to get a good clan of preceptors. You can have a number of preceptors, and all preceptors should be of the same opinion about mantras, because each one cannot give a different version of mantra. So, evam vidha nirvighna kaikarya siddhirapi, even this success of doing such a trouble-free service, what should be done? Sankalpadeva Bhagavan. So he will have the will, sweet will. Bhagavan Sankalpadeva. The Lord will have a free will, rather a sweet will, to make us get preceptors. Tattvataha bhavitatmanam. As we are interested truly, faithfully, sincerely in the purpose, then vratantam akhilam kalam sechayati amurtena tu. Then he will pour honey into our life for the rest of the time. That is akhilam kalam. All time in our life. Pratantam, while we follow a vow. So he will follow a vow of pouring honey. Amrtena sechayati. He will pour nectar over our service. That is our time. Meaning our life will be fruitful. He will make us do service. Iti. So Sri Sattvatadika Kathita Prakare. So we already saw the Sattvata Samhita. So the Sattvata Samhita said this. Then Bhagavad Prasadadeva, only by the blessings of the Lord, Bhavishyati. So we need not fear over, we need not be afraid of Lord's blessing. That is whether the blessing will come sooner or later. So we must wait for them, wait for the blessing. So we must be confident that the blessing will come sooner than later. Then Sat Siddhyartham, in order to have success over that thought, that the Lord will give, Lord shall give. Then we go to the next page. So Tat Siddhyartham api, then Prathamam Harereva Dhyanam Uchyate. Initially, in the middle, at the end, meditation on the Lord is very important. Iti sampraptya sat siddhe samspare prathamam hari. The same word meaning is repeated in long quoted words. So we must request humbly sampraptya. We must have deep sense of humility. Then we must remember the Lord. And we must pray for success. Let me just wind up here, because then how to get preceptors. Again, meditation is needed. Meditation on the Lord is needed in order to get an opportunity, golden opportunity to totally surrender to the divine feet of the preceptors.
रामार्जदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथ कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमदे वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः। पञ्चनानपराक्रमः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य சிரம் விஜயிதாம் புவி சீரொன்று தூப்புள் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் போரென்று தானே எமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர கோமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்யபூஷணம் श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம்